Hey, welcome back. The office is slowly starting to come together. I still have to put some doors on that stuff down there and hang some floating shelves and whatnot, but it's slowly coming together. Want to take a second to go through an article that came out actually in December, and it's Redfin's 2021 predictions for the housing market. Figured since we're kind of a week into February here, it might be worth just quickly going over this article. So they talked about 10 different predictions. Some of them won't apply for our area, but at least it's worth going through. So the first prediction, mortgage rates will remain historically low at 3%. So in 2021, 30-year fixed rate mortgages will rise slowly from 2.75 to 3%. Mortgage rates will remain low primarily due to the sluggish global economic recovery, and the global economic recovery could take much longer due to vaccines and everything going on, obviously, in the world, which would make the U.S. mortgage-backed securities attractive to international investors, which will keep mortgage rates low. We all know rates are pretty low right now and want to keep it that way. Even rates as low as 3 are really good, even 3.5. I remember I was super jacked when I closed on my house in 2015 and I got a 4% rate. So obviously rates will stay good and stay low. They just might not be, historical lows as we've had. Prediction 2, there will be more home sales than in any other year since 2006, but price growth will slow. So we know the housing market prices right now are through the roof and they just seemingly keep climbing. So Redfin predicts that these housing prices in the 2021 they'll still grow, but just it'll lessen and hopefully then top out. So Americans will continue to buy homes that fit their new lifestyle, that being many of us being able to work from home. 2021 will see more home sales than in any other year since 2006, and annual growth will increase from 5% in 2020 to over 10% in 2021. So they also say that areas with the least and fewest amount of COVID-19 cases will kind of blossom and bloom and grow up with numbers. And then new listings declined in 2020 by 3% compared to the previous year in 2019. But in 2021, they expect new listings to grow to 5%. Prediction number 3, there will be more new homes built than in any other year since 2006, so another 2006 reference. So since the pandemic began, construction on new homes have spiked. Building permits were up 21% from September to November in 2021 here compared to the same time in 2019. This would be due to builders not having to compete with office builders for labor, material, and land, especially with as many people leaving the workspace. Not as much work needs to be done in those offices. Low interest rates have also helped builders borrow more cheaply, which then obviously has helped project these things. Rising prices for existing homes will increasingly drive more buyers to consider a new one. And again, what we talked about earlier, the pricing on housing just kind of seems to keep getting more expensive. Prediction number 4, the number of Americans relocating will be the highest it's been in 16 years. So they mentioned places like Buffalo, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh as affordable places to live. So in 2021, the number of Americans moving across the country lines will surpass 14.5 million as everyone settles into their post-pandemic way of living. So a lot of us have the ability to work from home or have been working from home. Whether or not we go back to the office is to be seen. This much cross-country migration, there wasn't this much since 2004 when 15.3 million Americans moved across. So they're predicting maybe around a million, 1.2 less than at that point, which was quite a bit. They go on and say, as high-earning remote workers migrate in the next year, they will need to hire local childcare services, mechanics, plumbers, all the stuff for people living and working from home, which will create more economic opportunity because of that. And these places and these people will move to places that are more affordable, which will then spike this economic growth. Prediction number 5, the home ownership rate will reach 70% since the first time since 2005. So in other words, people will be buying homes and owning homes compared to renting. So by the end of the year, the home ownership rate will rise above 69% since the first time since 2005. People who lived in expensive cities only to be close to work are now abandoning their apartments to buy their first home in more affordable places. And small-time landlords in urban areas will lose tenants and then sell these investment properties, thus giving more opportunity for first-time home buyers to purchase them up. That would have been super helpful when I was living in Lakeville commuting to St. Louis Park, and anyone that knows that commute in the morning, it is terrible. Prediction number 6, San Antonio, Tucson, and Tampa will be the hottest housing markets as southern cities like Austin, Phoenix, and Miami become unaffordable. So Minneapolis is one of those more expensive cities that we know of. Maybe not in the same sense as Austin, Phoenix, Miami, but it could be an interesting shift in that, with people moving around to more affordable places, or at least in this area, moving out to the suburbs. Let's see. Prediction 7. Expensive cities will invest in their culture and lifestyle to attract residents and tourists. So as people leave these expensive cities, the cities need to do something, obviously, to attract people and economic growth and all of that. So in 2021, expensive cities will lose the most residents due to office workers continuing to work remotely. So in order for them to survive and hit their tax bases, they will have to reimagine their economies and how they obtain people and income. So these cities will have to be reborn with a greater emphasis on culture and lifestyle to attract residents and tourists. So there might be more incentives to go traveling, obviously, then with the pandemic done, and or at least a bunch of vaccines out, and these cities doing this could revitalize the travel world. Prediction 8, most home buyers will make an offer on a home sight unseen. So what that means is they won't see the house and they'll make an offer, which kind of scares me. In the mortgage world, I'm obviously more conservative in this side of things, but the spring of 2020, 45% of recent home buyers reported they had made an offer on a home sight unseen. So they essentially searched online, did all the research and data online, and then made an offer. Obviously, with the way things are, with what's presented online and the pictures and the walkthroughs that are available now today, that's kind of the first walkthrough anyway. But obviously we know it's not like seeing a house in person. Views of 3D walkthroughs on Redfin.com, where a home buyer can point and click through a 3D scan of a home. If you've seen these are pretty cool. They've increased 560% since February of 2020. So video tours, which represented less than 1% of all tour requests on Redfin before the pandemic, now account for about 1 in 10. So it went from 1% to 10% of home requests. So the whole online digital marketing piece is definitely taking off on the realty side. Prediction 9, 2021 will usher in a new era of price competition for real estate agents. So Redfin's predicting that home buyers and sellers searching on websites like redfin.com will see the buyer's agent's fee next to every home sale. So Redfin has already been displaying these fees on their own listings, but in 2021, all listings will show the buyer's agent fee as a consequence of the settlement between the Department of Justice and the National Association of Realtors. So having this transparency will bring, competition pricing. The buyer will be able to see what an agent earns on a sale and may negotiate either a refund or work out a fee for service or some sort of discount. We all know discount hunters. iBuyers and builders will also put downward pressure on buyers' agent fees as they look ways to cut costs. So that is an interesting arrangement and transparency in that. So we'll see how that plays out. Final prediction, prediction 10, everything associated with buying or selling a home will be offered at one-stop shops. So companies like Zillow or the big boys, Redfin.com even, the biggest real estate companies will work to become a one-stop shop for customers, integrating home trade-in and cash offers, concierge, listing prep, mortgage, title, insurance, home warranty, and moving services. So the big boys are trying to essentially encompass and take care of everything. Now we can all imagine why they're doing that, because there is money to be made, but we can all also see what kind of problems that actually could create in not only transparency, but in quality of service. It could be a good thing, but we all know that service is really what plays a big part in our field, and whether it's real estate, mortgage, title, what have you. And I feel like they'll have a hard time keeping up with that service that you would get working with an individual person rather than a large shop. Especially speaking from experience, when I was working at Wells Fargo, it was just hard to give the same service that I can give here when I work at Bell. So those are the 10 predictions that Redfin gives for 2021. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the year. The housing market has been hot at the beginning of the year. Normally this is the time when we are recovering or prepping for the next year, but things have stayed very steady and have even been increasing. So once we get through this winter time and the spring market hits, it's really going to be flying. So if you haven't yet, get a hold of your real estate agent, and if you're thinking about moving this year, get a hold of them early and get this information and stuff figured out. Get a hold of your mortgage lender, whether it's me or someone else, but get a hold of them early and get prepped early, because houses just don't stay on the market that long. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'd love to talk to you, answer any mortgage questions you have, but we'll catch you on the next one.